This afternoon's mission will be filling this fence with boysenberries. Haere mai te mokai. I have these wonderful plants that I've propagated off our main plant, and they have just gone nuts, which is awesome. And this one here, which has got a good set of roots, but it's just a little twig really. They originally came off this plant here, which I bought for $25 from a nursery, and I've just let it go full triffid. So hopefully by the end of today we will have boysenberries all the way along this fence line. Straight into it. I've started weeding, and I have our first hole dug, which I will soon fill with water in preparation for a plant to go into it. I've done the first hole a little ways in from this yucca for a couple of reasons. One, I will be able to train the triffid, the brambles in either direction, so the plant itself will seem like it goes all the way to the end, but I need to take into account the yucca itself and all of this beautiful greenery behind the fence as well. Because where there is big trees, there is typically nutritionally bankrupt soil. Where I'm planting right here, I've actually created this garden and raised it up using a combination of compost and fine bark mulch. As you can see, we had tomatoes there through the summer, and they've done well, they've done reasonably well. But in this area over here, nearer the yucca, they didn't do very well. So I already know that that area is not good for fresh planting, at least at this point. I've popped these wee strawberries here, and we'll just see how they go. They'll fill that gap nicely and help to keep weeds down once they're established as well, and they'll just make good companion plants for our boysenberries. It's good practice to fill your hole full of water before you go putting anything in there. I'm in love with this hose head, I think you should call it, my little gun. I got that one, I think it was about $20 odd from ℚ𝕣𝕠𝕪, and it's lasted yonks, and it's great for everything, multiple settings, all the rest of it. And while we're waiting, I've got these guys sitting in some water as well, and of course I will give them a bit of fertilizer. That's just cheap stuff that I got from a clearance shed. I think it was about $15 for 4 kilos, and I use citrus food for all my berries, and just anything that tastes moderately acidic will benefit from citrus food. Excuse the mess on the ground. This is our first plant that will go in. I thought I'd just show you the plant itself because it's rather magical. I really respect berries as plants. As you can see, it's got a couple of new brambles that are going to come up at any moment, and the plant itself is going nuts. It's got a reasonable root structure, so I know that it will do well. And if I just jump quickly back over here to this bad boy, you'll see again great roots, looking a little dry. We'll dip him in there, but he's already again got a really healthy looking cane coming up, bramble, whatever you want to call it. That one's obviously from years gone by, so that can get snapped off. And the beautiful part about these plants is this is the end of one of the brambles, and it has begun to root, because that's what berries do. This one, you can tell by the discoloration. It actually was hiding from the sunlight, which has possibly caused it to root the way that it has, and it looks a little bit flattened because it had started to climb into my neighbour's shed. A little bit of why it needed to be moved, but that one's going to look great in next to his wee friend. I'll get tidying and tying and show you the finished product in a moment. Coming along nicely, just like a bought one. I'll show you quickly what I'm using as my ties. It's this wonderful fabric product. I'm very sorry, again, I can't tell you exactly what it's called, but you can buy similar stuff all over the show, and it's very cheap. I get a massive roll for about $5 from ℚ𝕣𝕠𝕪. Can you tell I go to ℚ𝕣𝕠𝕠𝕪 a lot? And I've just reused the bits and bobs I had on the fence from the tomatoes for this boysenberry bush. I've got some extra there if I need some more, but I don't think I will. Not this time around anyway. Just chuckling to myself here. I've obviously used a palm off the ever dropping cabbage tree up there, split it up, and have used that to tie this whole tomato plant on. So if you don't have fancy little blue fabric bits, nature has got your back. Coming along nicely, we've got the little ones enlisted to spread marigold seeds, and even found a little marigold seedling. Yeah. Now these brand new canes, it actually doesn't matter if they're out or if they're covered. It's probably actually better at that stage if they are covered, because it's quite a vulnerable, delicate little bit of the plant. So we'll put the soil up a wee bit more before we give them another drink, and just keep an eye on it. Now this part here that has started to show promise of rooting, we will actually just loosen the soil. You can just do that with your hand, get some bits out of there, and poke him in. Bob's your uncle. That's it, and he will happily root there. I'll leave it nice and loose. Obviously the rain will compact it. It'll get compacted when we water it. I'll leave it attached to the mother plant so that it has access to all the nutrients that it needs, and it will eventually turn into its own plant, just like these ones did. As per the usual, I've gotten a little bit carried away and started weeding. Now I knew that there were a few plants in here, and what I've done is I've snipped them off. So this one's a great example. He is well rooted, and I've just trained him to go along that way. There's another one down on the ground that I've just cut, and this one here, this guy down there, he comes up and along, and oh gosh, still going, and he's attached in here somewhere. So I am going to cut that off and train him along this way as well. As far as I'm concerned, this corner is quite lush and realistically don't have that much space left from this end, and I'm going to have to do a bit of a clean out down this end as well, probably give loads away, so keep an eye out, because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, gosh, 5, 6, there's loads. So I will be definitely doing a boysenberry bush giveaway. I'm blown away by just how incredible these bushes are. They're so prolific, they fruit like mad, they're absolutely delicious. The only issue is keeping the worms out of them and the birds off them, and this season I'm going to be doing a whole lot more of that. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do with our peach tree here. I had planned to espalier it along the fence line. I may rethink that plan in favour of boysenberries. I do love a day 2 video. So I should tell you guys, it is mid-June here in Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. It's been a really weird winter. It's quite warm still, so there's enough warmth in the soil that I have full confidence these plants will be fine, and it's also cool enough throughout the day that they're not going to be hammered by the sun, which is awesome. So day 2, a little bit wilty, that's to be expected, but all in all they look great. They look very happy in their new homes, and I think once this whole fence is covered in boysenberries, it will just become part of our edible paradise. I'm really excited. Thanks again to everybody for watching. Please do hit that subscribe button. Every subscription helps us out. If you're local, keep an eye out on our Facebook page. I'll pop the link in the description, as that's where we'll be doing the bulk of our giveaways. We can post plants and seeds within New Zealand. I hope you learned something from today's video. This whole channel is about teaching each other how to eat for free, or as free as possible, from our gardens. So please, if you have any tips, tricks or hints, pop them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, Ella at Dig Deep, over and out.